Hi guys, my name's Tyler. I live up in Vermont. I'm not super tech savvy, so this is my first YouTube video. I had one actually that was like 32 minutes long, but it takes like 3 times that long to upload it. And I'm just not going to do that at this point. So I was just going to do a quick one of the motorcycle I got, and if there's any questions and comments, or if there's, anybody has any real interest, I can do more videos here down the road. I'm just using my cell phone. I don't have a GoPro or anything at this point. But anyway, I bought a 2015 CRF 250L. I bought it in 2016, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's a leftover 15 at the dealer. So it's exactly the same as a 16, and I'll show you what I had done. I bought this cover on Amazon. This cover was like $8, and I thought, wow, this is going to be one crappy cover, but it's actually not. It's actually pretty good. It's got some bungees on it and some straps for clipping it together. I'm never going to have the bike stored outside, so it's really only a dust cover for me. So it didn't really need to be a really beautiful one. So anyway, so that's my cover, and let's see here. I'll just real quickly go over the bike and what I've done to it. So it is sitting here right now with 28 miles on the odometer. So it's barely the first day of spring outside in Vermont, so it's just warm enough now to take the thing out. It's so really quick. Anyone that's into these kind of bikes knows what that means. But let's see. I got rid of the stock tires. I have them over there in my shed. All the reviews were pretty bad on them, especially the front. So I did a lot of research. There's not a ton of stuff to do in Vermont in the wintertime. So I did a ton of research over the winter before I got the bike. A big combination that people seem to like is the Pirelli MT21 on the front and the D606 on the rear. So that's what I went with. They're really good looking tires. Haven't really got a chance to really try them out, but I'm going to take it out today for a couple hours. I'm not expecting too much trouble. I have the Moose Racing tire change kit. So it's got a spare tire, patch kit, bead buddy, all that kind of stuff in there. I got a Baja design windshield. It was pretty easy to put on. $109 is a lot of money to spend on a little piece of plastic like that, but you're not going to make one yourself for any cheaper, and I think they know that. So there was a little warning on there, various reviews saying it buffeted pretty bad on the helmet, but I drove this thing for 7 or 8 miles at various speeds the other day, and it works fine for me. I'm 6 foot, 210, and it was fine. So that's that. I went with Flatland Racing, the new skid plate that they have, which is really cool because it drains out the water and the mud when you're washing your bike. My last skid plate on my previous bike, which was an XR 650L, the second one I had, and the plates were solid. So they just filled up with muck and mud, and unless you felt like taking them all apart, which wasn't easy on those old plates, you couldn't really clean it. This one's a snap. 2 screws in the front and a couple Allen wrenches underneath, and the thing falls right off. So I'll remove this every time I do oil changes, even though it's got a little port for the oil to come out. Anyone that's done that knows how that works out. So you just wind up with a bunch of oil in the pan regardless. Flatland Racing radiator guard, solid as a rock. That company really has it down. Whatever they're doing, they should keep it up, because everything they make is really top notch. Solid, well thought out stuff. Let's see, I went with the X Factor by Cerbis. Awesome handguards, really big. I was going to go with heated grips, but I decided to get big handguards instead. I'm pretty much a fair weather rider. I don't really have much interest in riding the bike when it's freezing cold. Let's see, double take mirrors. The stock mirrors were alright. They look a little on the Darth Vader side, but the worst problem I had with them is that I could only see my shoulders with those on, so that wasn't going to work. These fold out and fold in. They're really nice. They do vibrate a little bit in the wind, but I could tell if there's a car behind me or not, and that was my main objective. I was going to get a Renthal bar, but they just stopped making them in gold, so I ended up getting this Fly Racing one. I didn't know if it would be a little on the low side for quality, because some Fly stuff isn't as super cool as some high-end stuff, but that's not the case at all. It's aircraft aluminum. It's really tough, really well made. The dealership that ordered this in for me when I bought the bike actually ordered some for stock, because they thought they were such well-built bars. Cheap too. It's like $38 for that bar. So it's only $18 more than a stock bar when you dump the bike and bend the bar. So worth it. Shorty levers, the match. I had shorty levers on my Lex XR. They were really, really great. These were $26 on Amazon from China. They took like 6 weeks to get here. I thought they would be really low grade when they got here, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. The dealership thought they were like $200 shorty levers, which they're certainly not, but they're awesome. I got rid of the stock seat, not because I had much experience on the stock seat, but I had, this is my 4th Honda Dual Sport, so I know how the seats go after about 50 miles. And so I've done seat concepts in the past, and they're nice little seats. I just wanted to go with something with a bit more craftsmanship and a bit more styling this time. So I went with a Corbin, black leather with the imprint in it, carbon fiber imprint. This is called asphalt vinyl, and this is their tomato red welt. Let's see, I got a 42 tooth on the back. And I left the front stock. I didn't want the chain to drag on the guard that's on the swing arm. A little advice from Frank Newman, the woodsman, led me to make that decision, and I'm glad I did. I went with a Wolfman rack. I went with Wolfman wolf tail bag, Wolfman Enduro, and I looked at the Wolfman matching front bag for the tools, but it looked a little seedy compared to this one with the big chunky buckles that buckle together, and they have holes right here so you can put your zip straps through, which is really important with a fender bag, to drill your holes and put those zip locks in. Otherwise the stuff will come off pretty easy. It's been my experience. I like this thing. A lot of people take theirs off and say it's ugly. I think it's kind of nasty and chunky looking, just like a Dual Sport. I don't mind it at all, whatever. It's I definitely would rather have the safety of the large lights than have some slim little lights in there. I'm 45 years old. I got 2 young kids, and for me, I like to putt, explore, and come home. So this bike is perfect for me. And I don't care what the tail light looks like. I'd rather have the safety of the big lights on the side. Let's see, I went Q4 with Power Bomb. I didn't get the Mega Bomb because I didn't feel like burning my leg. And 20 out of 20 people I asked online that had the Mega Bomb said they burned their legs. So I just went with the Power Bomb. I don't mind that it's got maybe a little less power on the low end than it does on the high end. Don't really care. I'm not racing the bike. I'm just putting around, exploring the woods of Vermont. And that's perfectly fine for me. I'd rather have the stock guard on there. And when you get the Power Bomb, you can put the stock guard right back on. So the oil cap for this is a little cheesy, so I took it off, replaced it with that one. That's pretty much it. The bike is a baby, so I haven't really taken it out. It'll get more miles on it today than it has on it now in total, which is like 28 miles. I was a little worried that the bike was going to be small, underpowered. It was not the case. I'm used to the big XRs, and I was looking for something smaller and lighter and more maneuverable. And this bike, obviously, it was either this or the WR, like everybody else was looking at, you know, the combination of the two. I don't need the WR, I don't need the high-end power, I don't need the big suspension, so I'm perfectly happy with this. It is actually a ton of fun. The more you ride these bikes, the more you just fall in love with them. And I can honestly say that. And there isn't a photo or a video out there that does this bike justice. When you see the bike in person, it is a totally different unit. It's big, it's wide, it's really just a beautiful machine. So well done. That's it. I got the aluminum Craftsman lift because I have 2 young kids and I want to store it at night and on the weekends with a strap around it. And that's money well spent rather. It's 42 pounds, I think it weighs. So that's all. Comment or any questions or whatever, give me a yell. I'll try to get back to you. All right, thanks.